Hey guys, welcome back. Today's tutorial is about Mons storage space and what you can do to combat that. This is mostly geared towards early to mid game, where you have limited space and you have a limited amount of Mons that you can keep because you're not able to farm B8 for gold to extend your slots out. And I'm just going to give you my personal take on it. Right off the bat, if you're running out of room, check to see if you have any nat 1s or nat 2s. It really doesn't matter what nat 2 it is, even though you might have seen that, oh, I can't Evo 3 this because I can't capture it yet. You can capture majority, if not all of them, through the story at some point in time. So if you have any nat 1s or nat 2s, go ahead and discard them. You can get them later. The only valuable one is the minnows, so it's really no point of you keeping them. As far as nat 3s go, there are a couple I would keep, especially as you farm through the stages. Here, let me get to the map, make it easier. There are definitely a couple that you can keep nat 3 wise, and I'll break it down from each region you can go to, each area. So for Phantom Forest, all these nat 2s you see here, don't even bother with it for right now because you're so limited on money and space. You can come back later for them, they're not going anywhere. What I would prioritize is you can keep any Mihos you capture. I mean, you can still farm them later, but you're gonna need Miho, at least the water and grass one, by the time you hit B7 and B8, especially for B10 if you don't have another sapper. For Kokumaru, if you have the room, I would keep them, just because you can help yourself out later. Once you get mid-game, so you have enough money to Evo 2 him, well, Evo 2 the water one, so you can fuse him with the grass siren to get more victorious. But if you're really like low on room and gold, just wait, because you can farm him once you get to mid-game. That pretty much sums it up for Phantom Forest. Lunar Valley, same thing. Keep Mihos, but however, if you do run into Candlings, I would try and keep them and not build them immediately, but build them, once you get mid-game, start getting him Evo 2 to Evo 3, because he's going to help out in B9 if you're trying to clear B9 even once, so you can do B10. And I mean, overall, he's a pretty solid Mon with 2 defense downs, and you can skill book him, of course. And he's a little bit tanky, surprisingly, at least for attacker. So I would definitely prioritize keeping the Mihos and the fire candling. Area Lake, same thing. Keep the Mihos and keep any sirens you get, because you're definitely gonna want to build a water siren, especially for breaking into B8. So keep those. Kokumaru, like I said, you can always come back and farm him later. He's not really top on my priority list, but I would say Water Siren's second on the priority list, and Candling's probably third or fourth. Mirage Ruins, same thing. Keep the Mihos. Seedler, honestly, I wouldn't bother with Seedler at this point. You don't have enough room, and you don't have enough funds to bother with even trying to farm out one and build one when you need to do B8 to make any real progression in the game. You also run into Lats here. Remember him earlier? No, I think he was just a boss. Yeah, Mirage Ruins is the first place you run into Lats. So if you have a water Lat, you can definitely capture more here and get your water one to Evo 3 and build him up. Though I personally would just recommend you going over here to Pagos Coast which is what your goal is, Pagos Coast Extreme, to do B8, to get money, to extend your slots, to Evo 3 your Mons and free up your box, I would get here first, and I would just farm out maybe, I don't know, 2 Monas. You can bring Lat, you can bring, 2 Monas, a Lat, and a Siren for B8, just as your initial team. And I would prioritize the Mihos and of course the Monas. I would prioritize Monas number 1. If you don't have the room for something else, let it go. If it's a Nat 2 or like a Kokomaru, or a Seedler even, let it go. Build your Monas up. One Mona is good. 2 Monas is amazing, especially for breaking into B8. So I would definitely make her your first priority and keep as much room as possible as you can for her. Now for any Nat 3s you might pull as you play, because you're getting so many Astro Gems in the beginning that you're going to end up doing probably, well, I would do a 600 gem pull for 11 Astromon. Stuff like Crowhook and stuff, no, just rebirth him if you can. If you're doing a pull, rebirth any of the 3-star Mons like that if you can, if they're not what I've said, because majority of them are mediocre. There might be 1 or 2 that are actually worth keeping, but at this point, like I said, unless it's like an exotic, I wouldn't even bother. And that goes, yeah. And for Nat 4s and Nat 5s, hold on to those. Just hold on to those. Don't discard any Nat 4. Don't discard any Nat 5 if you are lucky enough to pull one when you're trying to get to Pagos Coast Extreme, because they're going to be really invaluable, helping you progress at least to more of the mid game. And depending on how much you play, I mean, it should take you maybe a week or 2, maybe a month to get to Pagos Coast Extreme and B8. But that pretty much sums it up. Prioritize first your Monas. You want at least 2 water Monas, if possible. Next on the list, I would say, would be Water Siren, because you're going to need a healer for it, especially at least in the beginning. Next is, I would say, Water Lat and Fire Candling. The rest, like Kokomaru, like I said, he's optional at that point in the game. Nat 2s, get rid of. Nat 1s, get rid of. If you find yourself, running out of money, obviously you're not there yet. Keep on playing. Farm as hard as you can. Get the extreme mode. Farm there. Gear up, and you'll soon. Yeah, well, it'll be soon once you'll have enough money to extend your slots out, because I'm not even at max, but I've been, doing my own thing. I'm hoping to clean my box up in the next coming months. But yeah, it's pretty simple. Don't try and Evo 3 anything other than, the Monas, your Mihos, your Siren, your Lat, because you're so limited on funds. Don't capture anything that you don't need to. If you caught it and your inventory's full, let it go. Trust me, you'll be seeing a lot more as you progress through the game. And that's about it. I hope this video helped.